Alright guys, just San here, back for another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and today we're going to be going over the best possible builds on your team for the Broly EZA event. Now I think this is going to be extremely easy. I mean, Movie Heroes is probably the best category in the game right now. So I mean, you'll probably be able to make a team without seeing this video, but maybe for a lot of you who just don't really have a lot of these units that are crazy on it, or just want to see what my perspective or my thoughts on what team you should use are, I figured I could do this video. But I mean, yeah, it should be extremely easy. Just keep in mind you don't want to bring any int or extreme class units, but I mean, I don't really think that that's going to be a big deal. I mean, you're not really going to be bringing int anyway, because int units obviously have type disadvantage, and there's not really any extreme class units on Movie Heroes. So, I mean, yeah, I don't really think that's that big of a deal. But I did do a video going over a team build guide for the Gogeta EZA, so I'll leave a link to that on the screen if you want to check that out, because that is probably going to be a little bit more difficult, because Movie Bosses obviously is not as good as Movie Heroes. But I mean, yeah, make sure you guys like and subscribe. I'll put timestamps in the video so for when we go over like leader units, and then when we go over just like units just to put on your team in general. But I mean, yeah, let's just get right into it. So starting off with the first lead, I got the Super Saiyan Goku and Vegeta that released during the worldwide download celebration. Now, I might talk through these units kind of quickly, because as you can see on the top, I got a lot of tabs open. There's a lot of units I want to talk about, but I don't want this video to get too long, so I might make some of my comments about them kind of brief. But I mean, with this guy, they get a lot of hate, but honestly, they're still really good. Their leader skill is amazing, the 170 to Movie Heroes and Joined Forces, and then the extra 30% to Pure Saiyans. So a lot of the units you're going to be bringing are going to have the full 200% leader skill, so I do think they're going to be extremely useful in that area. And I mean, in terms of their kit, they're good, right? Well, honestly, they're great, but I mean, of course, there are some issues, especially when you start talking about getting into their, I was gonna say transformation, but I guess their morale boost, because of course, when they get that, they become really crazy. But the active skill condition is kind of difficult, and I don't think you're going to be able to get this in an EZA event. But I mean, it's still there, so of course you could get it. And I mean, yeah, overall, they're really good for sure. They're going to be able to provide a lot of use for you in this event. And then yeah. So moving on to the next unit, we have the LR Gods. Now, I think you might want to run these over the other Goku and Vegeta, because I think the LR Gods are probably just a little bit better than them. But, I mean, yeah, honestly, I don't really got to say much. These guys are crazy. Their leader skill is amazing. They stack. They have guard. They get so much attack and defense. They have crit chance. They get additionals. They get super effective against all types at 24 ki. And that's not even including when they're transformed. When they're transformed, they're crazy. They are insane. They massively raise attack. They disable enemies' actions. They get a bunch of dodge chance with rainbow orbs, and then they get an additional super attack guaranteed with 20 ki. They have the medium chance to crit. They get the extra ki per type ki sphere obtained. And I mean, I could just go on and on. They're crazy. Their active skill is an amazing condition, and it's going to do a ton of damage, especially because it is a guaranteed crit. So even though you're not going to have type advantage against the enemy, because obviously the Broly is physical, you are still going to be doing a ton of damage. So I really do think these guys are, I mean, even if you're not running them as a lead, which you probably are, if you're not running them as a lead, you still are going to want to throw them on the team just because of how crazy they are. So, I mean, yeah, the Gods obviously are one of the best leads and just one of the best units overall to bring. All right, so next we have Gamma 1 and Gamma 2. Not really going to talk about them for too long. They're crazy. They're some of the best units in the game as well. I mean, most of these units we've been going over have been the best units in the game, because, I mean, what can I say? Movie Heroes is just such a crazy category. But, I mean, yeah, he is a 200% for Movie Heroes. I don't really know how often the units on the team, or I don't know if the units you're running on the team are going to get the 200%. Accelerated Battle and Worthy Rivals is kind of a broad spectrum. I don't really know how many people on this category fit on that. Of course, some of the Piccolos and I guess Vegetas are going to fit on that, and a couple units here and there are on Accelerated Battle. So for Gamma 1, he'll be a pretty good lead, but I mean, it doesn't really matter, honestly. Even if you can't do the extra 30%, the initial 170 across the board to Movie Heroes is good enough, and this guy has type advantage, right? So he's going to be doing a ton of damage, and with the 50% damage reduction, you're not taking any damage. And also he's a support, so that's even better. And then kind of same thing with Gamma 2. His leader skill is pretty good. The Movie Heroes for 170, and then he's got the exact same 200%, or the exact same extra 30%. So same thing with the Gamma 2 as the Gamma 1. And, I mean, he's going to be doing like a ton of damage, too. He does not have type advantage, so he's going to probably be doing a little bit less. Well, maybe not, actually, because Gamma 2 does hit really hard, so... I mean, between the crit chance, and he has the... well, I forgot, he also does have that high chance to nullify Ki Blast Supers. And, I mean, he is also support as well, so... This guy's just doing a lot. I think Gamma 1 and 2 are extremely good options that you should bring on the team, especially Gamma 1. But then if you bring Gamma 1, you got to bring Gamma 2, right? But I do know a lot of you probably don't have them because they did not return on the Gohan and Piccolo banners, and a lot of you probably skipped their initial release banner. So you might not have them, but I still wanted to throw them on the list because they're crazy. All right, so next up we have the Tech Gohan. Now, this guy is only a 130 lead, but I really don't think that matters because most of the people you're running on the team are going to be crazy to where even if they're on a 130% lead, they're still going to be good. So, I mean, yeah, this guy's really good. Not really much to talk about. You just want to make sure you pick up a lot of orbs with him to be good. He does also have the active skill, which is pretty easy to get. You do have to fall below the threshold, and it is starting from the 5th turn. Okay, so maybe it's not extremely easy to get, but you probably will be able to get it a couple times at least. And I mean, yeah, he's got good links. He's got All in the Family, which makes him work with a unit I'll talk about in a minute. But I mean, yeah, he's a pretty good unit overall. And if you have to run him as a lead, I mean, you could do it for sure because he is also giving 4 Ki, which is really good because it helps everyone just work better together and everyone get their super attack off. All right, so next we have the STR Piccolo. This guy is also a 130% lead. However, this guy has type advantage. So I think this guy is going to be a really good addition to your team. And I do think you're probably going to want to bring him, even if he's not the lead, because he's supporting. And he does work well with, again, another unit we'll talk about in a second. And I mean, he's just really good overall. And because we are facing a Broly, he is giving the extra 30% attack. So he's 30% to attack and defense for all allies and the 2 Ki. And I mean, defensively, this guy's great. He also seals, so maybe that'll help you in the earlier phases of the earlier stages of the EZA. So, I mean, yeah, Piccolo, amazing. All right, so now we're getting into the Tech Piccolo. So this is the guy I was talking about that was going to work well with the STR Piccolo, as I'm sure a lot of you guessed. And I mean, what do you want me to say? I'm going to talk about this guy for like a minute and move on. Best unit in the game, right? I mean, he has the stun chance. He's lowering attack and defense. He's got the guard. He gives all allies Ki. He has damage reduction. He gets a ton of attack and defense. He heals HP, and he gets more damage reduction. And he has one of the best active skills in the game. So, I mean, this guy's just crazy. You could honestly probably run him as a leader skill too, kind of like a sub-lead if you really need to. So, I mean, yeah, for sure, he's amazing. I think you're going to put him on the team regardless of if he's the leader or not. So, I mean, yeah, he's crazy. All right, next we have the Gohan. Now, of course, he's not as good as the Piccolo. I think a lot of people have been quite frustrated just about this Gohan's kit overall, but you cannot lie. This guy is crazy. He still has that guard for the first 3 turns. He gets the additional that has a great chance of becoming a super attack at 20 Ki. He gets attacks effective against all types at 24. He has the high chance of nullifying Ki Blast Supers. He also has the active skill, which, you know, it's one of the best animations in the game, so it's always nice seeing that. And, I mean, the condition for it isn't necessarily amazing. It's from the 6th turn, which, I mean, maybe in some of the later stages of the EZA, you will be able to get this, but this might be kind of difficult to get, but if you do end up getting it, it's going to hit extremely hard. It's going to do a ton of damage, and, I mean, yeah, overall, just a really good unit. He also does have that medium chance of stunning, and he also does lower attack and defense, and I guess you could technically run this guy as a lead as well. There are a lot of superheroes units on the Movie Heroes category, and a lot of movie heroes on the Hybrid Sans category. So I do think you could run him as a sub-lead as well. But overall, he's a great unit. I won't talk about him too much either because we all know the Gohan and the Piccolo are crazy. So yeah. All right. Moving on, we have the Carnival LR Tech Super Saiyan Goku. Now, I kind of have this guy as a sub-lead because he does lead Powerful Comeback, which has some movie heroes on here. Let me just check really quick. Oh, okay, yes. Not only do we have the Tech Piccolo, who, I mean, we already know he's crazy. We have the Tech Piccolo, we have the Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, like I was saying, the Tech Goku and Vegeta, who they're pretty good as well. I'll talk about them in a minute. And then, yeah, we've got the STR Gogeta, and then we got the physical. Okay, yeah, so Powerful Comeback has a lot of movie heroes units on here, so you could absolutely run this guy as a sub-lead as well. And I mean, same thing with this guy as the Gohan and Piccolo. I won't talk about him for too long. He's crazy. He has the revive, he has the guard, he's stacking, he's doing a ton of just damage, and he's going to be very well in terms of his defense. And also, you know, the revive is insanely useful, especially in an easy A. So, I mean, yeah, this guy's crazy, but that's pretty much it. I won't talk about him for too long. All right, so now we have this guy. Now, I don't think you should run this guy as a lead, I guess unless you really have to, because you could. Final Trump Card Infusion, of course, between those two categories, there's a lot of movie heroes options, especially with Fusion. But I do think that this guy is going to be really good in the event, just as a unit on the team, because, well, in his untransformed state, he's not really good at all. And even in his transformed state, he still can be a little wonky, but the fact that he has type advantage and he's getting all these additional supers, he has the active skill, and he's building up his attack and defense to some really, really high stats. I think this guy could be a very good addition, and, well, really just because he has type advantage, right? He's going to be doing a lot of damage, so he does also have the high chance to evade enemies' attack in the 3rd slot, so if he does end up taking a lot of damage, you can just throw him in slot 3, and, you know, he'll be fine. So, yeah, the STR Gogeta right there. And then next we have the Easy A Super Saiyan God Vegeta. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. The only reason I threw him on here is because he has type advantage, and, I mean, he is also stacking attack. Well, he's greatly stacking attack. So he's going to be doing a lot of damage just with that. And, I mean, he's got that high chance to guard. He has the medium chance of launching an additional attack. He does have that great chance to stun when there's a movie boss's or pure Saiyan's enemy, which, of course, you are facing a movie boss's enemy. So for, like, the first, I don't know, what is it, 10, 15 stages, you're going to get this. I don't know when he cancels stunning. Oh, okay, never mind. So it's at stage 5. Okay, so for the first 5 stages, you can make use out of that, but other than that, no real particular reason I put him on here. I just figured he'd be doing a lot of damage, and he could be pretty useful. I mean, he'll work with a lot of the other Super Saiyan God units. Like, if you want to bring the Tech God Goku, he'll work good with him. I didn't put Tech God Goku on the list, but of course, he's a good option. So yeah, I mean, I'll go over just a couple other units that I didn't talk about. For sure, there's a lot of other sub-leads you could use. The physical Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, and then the Tech Krillin and Gohan. They're both, I think, 130 leads from movie heroes. Of course, they suck. Neither of them are really good, just to put it bluntly. But, I mean, you could still run them as a lead. Maybe, I guess. I don't know. You'd probably have to run a friend like Gamma 1 or one of these guys to make up for it. But you might be able to get away with it. And then, yeah, just a lot of other options here. You know, the STR, Tapion, and Minosha you might want to run because they have type advantage. But I don't know how well they're going to link with anyone else. And, I mean, yeah, Jacko obviously has that high chance to dodge. He could be good. Android 8, if you're on JP, you could utilize him because he'll probably take, like, no damage. But Global, we don't have him yet, of course. And, I mean, that's pretty much it. Those were all the real standout units. Same goes with Kid Goku for JP, if you have him. I mean, for sure, there's a lot of other options on here, or units, that you could use. I know I haven't necessarily mentioned everyone who can be useful in here, but I feel like I did mention everyone who you really, really make sure you want to throw on the team if you have them. So, yeah, that has been the video. Let me know if there's anyone that I kind of missed or didn't add on the list that you are bringing in the event, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.